After days of uncertainty, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission finally came to the conclusion that electronic voter registration was not going to work. Not this time. The Commission has now dropped its plan to automate the registration of voters, saying the remaining time just isn't enough to start the tendering process all over again. The Commission will now use the manual registration system to put in place a voters' roll ahead of next year's polls. In a statement to newsrooms, the IEBC announced that it had terminated the process of acquiring the biometric voter registration kits and that all tenderers had been duly notified. The Commission cited time constraints to conduct a fresh BVR tendering process as the basis for the decision. IEBC will now use the optical mark reader for the voter registration process. This was after various political leaders started putting question marks on IEBC's credibility over the biometric system.
Whether it is prudent to rush headlong into a clearly flawed electronic system or rather stick with a manual system that is foolproof.
But the manual system will revive memories of the 2007 botched election.
You didn't see them. Thank you.
South African Judge Johan Kriegler, who led an inquiry into that disputed election, blamed the manual system for anomalies in the voters' roll and the contested results.
There is radical reform necessary to replace or transform the ECK with a new name, possibly a new image and ethos.
Similar concerns were raised in Parliament's afternoon session as members of Parliament sought to have the matter referred to two relevant House committees.
The Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs has summoned the IEBC to appear before the committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I seek your guidance that the Constitution Implementation Oversight Committee be enjoined in that sitting.
The issue of elections is also an issue of constitutional implementation.
Some of the recommendations made by the Kriegler Commission included changing the voter registration system and integrating the issuance of ID cards with voter registration. Kriegler also prioritized constituency boundaries delimitation, an exercise the IEBC is yet to conclude. The IEBC has moved to assure Kenyans of the suitability of the manual system, citing the 2010 constitutional referendum and 12 parliamentary by-elections as success stories. The IEBC's decision to revert back to the manual registration of voters has been received with mixed reactions, but the Isaac Hassan-led commission insists this is the only way to compile a voter register in time. The commission intends to employ a larger number of clerks for longer periods to make the voter registration exercise more efficient. Ben Kitili, NTV, Nairobi.